Chartered accountant and entrepreneur Dennis Fenter has devoted his life to building his career, and this house is proof that hard work pays off. He gave architect and interior designer Haydn Ellis full license to make the design unforgettable.
You probably thought you're coming into a one-story house.
I did.
But have a look down there.
That's quite a few layers.
It's dramatic, isn't it?
Very.
This spiral staircase that descends to the full depth of the structure is a defining feature.
So the staircase essentially is a knuckle. The whole house rotates around it. The square shapes are pushed out off the spiral, and various fragments sort of jut off in different directions.
It took almost 3 years to embed the house within the mountain, and Dennis and his fiancé Liesl Groenewald were impressed.
Were you quite particular when it came to the brief?
I certainly was. I knew exactly what I wanted, and I designed the house by myself and spent many months planning my perfect home until I eventually got the architect who did it to give me a scale model. And when I looked at the scale model, I couldn't believe that the monster that I'd created, it was like living at Grooteskier Hospital. I then, through friends of mine, I got hold of Haydn, and I said to Haydn, the only real brief I told him was to protect me against myself and to not to listen to me, but to produce a wow house.
Well, this is definitely a wow.
Thank you. It is a big house, and I did want people to experience it in smaller chunks. So there are lots of places that you discover by surprise. There's the pool, and there's the gym and the spa. The gym in particular is a fantastic space. It's got the steam room and the sauna. I don't know how much exercise happens there, but the light coming in from the pool makes it an incredibly dramatic space. Let me show you some of the others.
Haydn kept all the design elements within this dream home true to Dennis and Liesl's taste for the avant-garde.
There's a definite coherency here between the architecture and the interior decor.
Yes, I wanted to pick up some of the shapes in the plan and in the building itself in the decor items, so the lights are a very good example of what those are. You can see backlit, very dramatic fragments, very typical of a lot of the design elements in the house, like this counter, for example. So the kitchen does pick up on some of those shapes. We introduced the onyx stone backlit. It's very dramatic during the day when we don't have the artificial lighting on. It just warms the space up.
The couple like to entertain, and Haydn has reflected their open, affectionate nature.
Let me show you another special place that I think is as surprising as small things like this. It's one of my favorite spaces. It's called the Green Drum, and essentially it's a light well. When the tiki creep is established, it will be taken up as high as that dark band. It will be kept there. It's also a very calm spot when the wind's blowing from the other side.
So koi, and it actually has an echo. It sort of feels like you've stepped into another world.
Well, it is an outdoor room, and what I keep on saying to people who don't expect it is that the sky is a fifth elevation. You know, people tend to forget it when you've got so much view, and when you're here, you're really conscious of it.
It's designed to be functional and intimate.
This house really is full of these incredible surprises around each corner.
It is. So let me show you another one. This is the wine cellar. You first.
This is one of Haydn's favourites, and it's certainly a head spinner.
You know, Haydn, usually a cellar is sort of an afterthought, but I can see that quite a lot of planning and love and passion went into this space.
Essentially, the space is about the wine, but I did want the cellar to be a destination as well. It's right at the end of the spiral stairs. In fact, when you're down here, it feels a little bit like you're in the bottom of a bottle. It is a pure circular shape, and if you look up, the stairs are a bit like a corkscrew.
You're right, it does look like a corkscrew.
It does, and it's a nice, comfortable space, so it's not somewhere where you just come down to get a bottle of wine and then go back again. You know, it's carpeted, it's plush. I think people would spend a lot of time here. So it wasn't an afterthought. In fact, the only thing that was an afterthought was the home theatre, which we added right at the end, close to the wine. Good idea. I think we've done too many stairs. Let's take the lift up to the master bedroom.
Totally agree.
After you. So usually such boring spaces, I think that's why people talk about lift music.
Yes.
So I wanted this to feel a little bit like a destination as well. So we put the art in, we put the textured plaster, lots of mirror, and the angles again coming in from the architecture.
Taking the lift to the top level reveals another grand space, complete with a private entertainment area.
Wow, a walk-in closet with a gorgeously framed view. Now this must be on any woman's bucket list to actually own one day.
Well, the house is all about views, and a lot of them are framed like the drum downstairs, so this cuts out all the other stuff and just gives you the mountains in the stretched panorama. And then the cabinets pick a little bit up on the shape of the house, so you can see how all the lines are counterpointed by the circular shapes. Let me show you the master bedroom through here.
You really had some great proportions to work within.
Well, there are some exciting shapes going on in the house. We've talked about the circles and the squares. And then there were issues of protecting privacy when you are in the bedrooms. I try to keep the whole thing quite fun. There's a bedroom downstairs with a circular bed. Here we went for something a little bit more traditional, had this sandblaster to give it a slightly masculine, even though the styling of it is more traditional. Opening up the rooms to views, there's a very nice bathroom down there, there's a private study up these stairs. That leads to a roof terrace, but the bedroom itself all opens out onto what's a terrace shared with the main study.
Since childhood, homeowner Dennis wanted to be a pilot, and 10 years ago he did it. Starting on ultralights, graduating to gyrocopters, then Cessnas, his first long haul to Turkey was typically ambitious.
Dennis, I believe you're from Bloem, but your love for flying actually lured you to Cape Town.
Yeah, that's correct. If you look around you, there is not a better place in the world to fly, and Stellenbosch Flying Club is most probably the best flying club in the world.
Actually, one of our first dates was we were flying with one of Dennis's gyrocopters, and it was absolutely beautiful to see the house out of there.
You see, some guys have got looks, others have got gyrocopters.
Dennis, I heard also that Haydn actually over-delivered when it came to creating this house and your original intentions for the house.
He certainly did. When I decided to build a house in Cape Town, I was struggling to find a girlfriend, and I asked Haydn if he could help me in that department, and I was looking for something wow. Haydn proceeded to actually build this house, and I had visions of many, many good parties. But before I could have my first party, Liesl came along and actually messed up all those ideas.
Your bachelor days are over.
This house looks like a 6-star resort, yet feels like a home where you can host a full-scale party or retreat into a cozy corner and switch off your phone. The best of the good life? Dennis and Liesl are living it.